Have you ever met someone and felt completely thrown off by how different they were from what you expected, yet you couldn't shake the feeling that this was exactly who you were supposed to meet? You know that moment when everything in you says this person doesn't fit your list, doesn't match your type, doesn't align with your timeline, but something deeper, something you can't explain, keeps drawing you back to them? What if I told you that the very thing that makes you question this connection, that unusual energy that feels so foreign to everything you've known, is actually God's way of confirming that this is divinely orchestrated? In the next 60 seconds, you're going to discover why the most uncomfortable feeling of unfamiliarity might be the clearest sign you've been praying for, and by the end of this message, you'll understand exactly how to recognize divine confirmation hidden in what looks like confusion. Welcome to God's Prophecy Message channel, where we deliver divine messages for those seeking clarity in their spiritual journey, especially when it comes to relationships and God's timing for your life. If you're new here, this is your moment to subscribe and turn on all notifications, because what we're about to unpack today is going to shift your entire perspective on how God brings the right person into your life. This isn't just relationship advice. This is prophetic insight for those who have been confused, for those who have met someone and thought maybe you were wrong about them because they feel so different from what you imagined. Before we go any further, if you're someone who has experienced this, someone who has encountered a person whose energy, whose presence, whose entire being feels unusual to you, but you can't deny there's something significant about them, I want you to type in the comments right now, "I receive." Type it out, declare it over your life, because what you're about to hear is going to confirm what your spirit already knows, but your mind has been fighting against. And if you feel led, if this message is already speaking to you, please consider supporting this channel through Super Thanks or by donating through the Buy Me Coffee link in the description. Your support helps us continue to bring prophetic and encouraging content to people who are waiting, seeking, and believing for God's best in their relationships and their lives. Now let's get into this word, because somebody needs to hear this today. Somebody has been second-guessing a divine connection because it doesn't feel familiar, and that unfamiliarity has been interpreted as a warning when it's actually a confirmation. You've spent years, maybe even decades, building an image in your mind of what your future partner would be like. You've created a mental checklist based on your past experiences, your preferences, your comfort zones, and what you've seen work for other people. You've told yourself that when the right person comes, you'll feel a certain way, they'll look a certain way, they'll carry themselves in a way that immediately makes sense to you. And then God brings someone into your path who shatters every single expectation you had. They're not what you pictured. Their energy is different. Their approach to life, their communication style, their background, their interests, maybe even their appearance, it's all unusual compared to what you thought you wanted. And because it's unusual, because it's unfamiliar, because it challenges everything you thought you knew about what you needed, you start questioning whether this is really from God. You start wondering if maybe you're forcing something that isn't meant to be. You look for reasons to walk away, because staying requires you to trust something you can't fully understand yet. You've been conditioned to believe that the right relationship should feel easy, comfortable, familiar from day one. But what if I told you that divine connections often feel uncomfortable precisely because they're designed to take you somewhere you've never been before? Let me take you to the book of Genesis, to a story that perfectly illustrates this principle. In Genesis chapter 24, Abraham sends his servant to find a wife for his son Isaac. The servant prays for a specific sign, and when Rebekah shows up and fulfills that sign exactly, he knows this is the woman. But here's what's interesting. Rebekah had never met Isaac. Isaac had never met Rebekah. When they finally encounter each other, there's no foundation of familiarity. She's coming from a completely different family, a different location, with different customs and ways of life. The energy she brings into Isaac's world is entirely unusual to what he's known. Yet this was the divinely appointed match. Genesis 24 verse 67 says, Isaac brought her into the tent of his mother Sarah, and he married Rebekah, so she became his wife. and he loved her. Notice the sequence. He married her first. The love, the comfort, the familiarity that came after the commitment to what God had orchestrated. This is crucial for you to understand because you're waiting to feel completely comfortable and familiar before you commit to believing this is your person. But God's design often works in reverse. The unusual energy you're experiencing isn't a red flag. It's the very thing that marks this as different from everything else you've encountered, which means it's different from everything that didn't work out, different from everything that led you nowhere, different from every connection that felt familiar but ended in disappointment. Think about this carefully. If God wanted to give you more of what you've already experienced, more of what feels safe and familiar based on your past, wouldn't that just reproduce the same results? If the relationships that felt comfortable and made sense to you had been the right ones, wouldn't you already be married? The fact that God is bringing someone whose energy disrupts your expectations is actually evidence that he's doing something new, something that requires a different version of you, something that will produce a different outcome than what you've known before. Isaiah 43 verse 19 declares, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." This is your prophetic word right now. God is doing a new thing in your love life. It's springing up in a way you didn't anticipate. The energy feels unusual because it's new. It's not a repeat of your past. It's not a replica of your comfort zone. It's a divine disruption designed to make a way where you saw no way, to bring streams of blessing in the wasteland of your waiting. But I know what you're thinking. You're wondering how to distinguish between unusual energy that's a divine confirmation and unusual energy that's a genuine warning sign. This is where spiritual discernment becomes critical, and this is exactly what we need to break down so you're not confused. When energy is unusual but it's your confirmation, you'll notice several things happening simultaneously. First, there's a peace underneath the discomfort. It's not the absence of nervousness or uncertainty, but there's a foundational peace in your spirit that this person is significant. You might feel anxious about the differences, you might feel stretched by how much they challenge your normal, but underneath all of that, there's a knowing that won't go away. You can't logic yourself out of it. You can't talk yourself out of it. Even when you try to walk away or dismiss this connection, something keeps pulling you back to consider it. Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6 remind us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." When God is confirming someone, he bypasses your understanding and speaks directly to your heart. Your mind might be listing all the reasons this doesn't make sense, but your heart has a peace that surpasses what your logic can comprehend. That unusual energy is forcing you to trust God rather than trust your own judgment, which is exactly where God wants you. Second, the unusual energy brings growth, not destruction. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's challenging, but it's making you better. It's exposing areas where you need to mature. It's revealing beliefs you held that weren't actually biblical. It's pushing you to communicate differently, to love differently, to show up differently. When unusual energy is your confirmation, it acts as a refining fire. You're being prepared through this connection in ways you never were in previous relationships. The discomfort isn't breaking you down. It's building you up into the version of yourself that's ready for covenant partnership. Think about what Proverbs 27 verse 17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." The sharpening process isn't gentle, it's friction. It's one hard surface grinding against another to create something better. If this person's energy feels unusual and it's making you sharper, wiser, more patient, more prayerful, more dependent on God, that's confirmation. That's God using this connection to develop you. Third, when unusual energy is your confirmation, it aligns with the prophetic words and signs God has already given you, even if it doesn't look how you expected those words to manifest. Maybe you've been getting dreams, visions, or words about specific characteristics, specific timing, specific circumstances. And then this person shows up and they have those characteristics, but they're wrapped in a package you didn't anticipate. The core of what God said is present, but the present